what is up guys? Welcome back to another Falsherman's video. This one is going over my 6 chart layout and how to set it up to trade order flow. Okay, this is going to be a really simple episode. Obviously guys, if you want this full chart template without having to put in all the work, you can just join the Falsherman's Pros community. I'll show you that after. But over here, okay, so these 3 main charts at the top are going to be my 3 main charts, literally, okay? So this is where I'm looking for trades every single day, okay? So when I spot, let's say, some absorption, okay? So if I spot like an absorption pattern, if I see some form of divergences on the delta, this is where I spot it all, okay? Down here on these 3 charts down here, this is going to be where I find my bias and potential plays. Okay, so potential plays are just my version of like really nice high quality levels that I take trades from. Okay, so see over here, let's just say over here. So if I just like copy this and put it over here, okay, open this up, what I will do is I'll look for these levels. So if I just turn on key levels, you can see here all these key levels will pop up, and this is where I'll start looking for those confluence zones. Okay, so let's just say, for example, there's 2 confluences right around this area. What I'll do is I'll push that over there, then I will just copy it over here and paste it over here. Okay, that's literally as simple as that. Is how I find those potential plays. Is I just look for confluence zones, and then I'll put them over here, and that's how I get my key levels for the day. Okay, obviously there's a little bit more to it, okay, like finding really high quality key levels, and then I'll put them inside my potential plays folder. Okay, but that is pretty much going to sum up this 2 charts. Obviously this one over here is going to be a session chart for me. Okay, so I could spot where volume is coming in each session, where the value area highs and lows are for that session. Okay, because what I want to do is figure out, okay, where are we forming in value. Look at this up here, okay, like I'll see like, okay, what are we doing up around this area? Why are we rejecting from this area? Is there anything like major around here? So what I would do is, like, you could just see it like right here already, like, you know, these really nice key levels. So you can see here, this is the value area high of this Asia session. Okay, and just spotting that alone is like, okay, look at this key level of resistance. Okay, so I would be spotting things like that and putting them over to my main chart, which is this one over here. So this is the one I'm looking at for these potential plays. And this chart right here is just going to be a volume profile chart, but based on the footprint. So you can see over here, here's all the settings for that. But this is where I spot those like high volume nodes. So like right down here, you can see a pretty nice, the high volume node just sitting, waiting to be tapped. Obviously there is other things that go into this. Like I said, I don't really trade zones by themselves. Okay, I don't really like trading like that. They're usually my like B or C setups, but you can see like usually these high volume nodes get really nice reactions. You can also switch between 1 and 2, which I like doing as well, just to give me that extra bit of like granular data, but you don't have to do that. Okay, so I would personally, unless you're like trading like New York session or whatever, I would just keep this on 1 contract. But like if I just go down and you can see like how crazy it looks when we're like around this sort of session times. So that's why I like to like when there's high volatility and stuff and there's a lot of liquidity in the market, that is why you can see it looks pretty crazy or pretty janky. But then, you know, as we come around, then it goes back to kind of normal. So it really is up to you guys whether you want to keep it at like 1 or 2. But I would personally, for you, I would keep it at 1 because that's where you're going to get the most value from. Especially because we're only on 5 minute, right? But if we went up a time frame to like the 15 minute, you would definitely have to move it. Like over here, okay, I can show you these. I'll actually start off with the monthly. You can see on the monthly, this is another place where I spot those high volume nodes, and I just look around for them. So you can see if I just go up here, you know, this is a really nice high volume node right here. Okay, and spotting these, like they usually get really nice reactions. So like right here, there's a really nice high volume node, and we got a really nice reaction from that. So that's why I'll look at these sort of areas. The fine confluence, again, you know, this high volume node, I don't know where we were based on, but I can pull it, let's see. So I could like pull this to here. Yeah, so there wasn't really any confluence there, you know, based on that volume profile sort of vibe. But like you can see here that this was actually the value area low as well. So that could give another nice reaction because a lot of people, you know, already spotted buys and stuff, but that's for a different episode, obviously. So that's going to be where I find my biases. Okay, so what I'm doing is like spotting where we are based on the highs and lows. Okay, where we are based on value. So are we finding value higher, so on. I look where the daily open is. I look at the initial balance. So listen, if I would just zoom into here, these are going to be the initial balances. Okay, so I'll use these. You can see here really narrow initial balance compared to this one, which is a lot wider. So looking at these and kind of gauging a sense on my bias for the day. And another point I'm going to make about my bias is that I don't be stuck to one bias. Okay, like I don't have just like, okay, if my overall attempted direction for the day is going to be higher, I'm not going to just look at buys. Okay, like I'll take profit on buys a lot later, but I'll take profit on shorts a lot sooner. Okay, so if our overall attempted direction for the day is higher, I'm not looking to hold shorts for a long time. Okay, I'm looking to still take shorts. Okay, because I don't want to miss an opportunity in the markets, right? Because there's very few high quality setups that happen in a day. So when those high quality setups play out, I kind of want to be able to take those trades and be confident in them. And that's why I'll trade that daily bias for that way. Okay, so that's pretty much the way I trade my daily bias. So if we're going higher, I'll still take a short, but I'm taking profit a lot quicker. Okay, so I'm looking at like the next level to close like a full position. Okay, I'll never usually close partials and stuff. That's just something I've did in my back testing, is that I don't like closing partials on that sort of setup. But anyway, so this is the monthly, well, this is the weekly, this is the daily, this is the sessions. Okay, so this is pretty much for my biases, finding my potential plays down here, putting my potential plays up to here, and then waiting on the reaction. Okay, so this is probably the most crucial part, is what kind of a reaction are you guys wanting to see when it comes to order flow. Okay, and my personal opinion is looking at whether buyers or sellers are stepping in. Okay, so imagine the footprint, literally like the footprint of a bigger trader. Okay, so you're watching the footprints of the guys that move the market. Like imagine in the snow, there's like you can watch them, you can't see them, but you can watch the footprints that these guys are placing into the market. Okay, this is why I like using these sort of charts, because that's pretty much what it is. Okay, is that you can see, okay, there's a bunch of buyers stepping in here, a bunch of buyers at the highs, we're not closing any higher. Okay, that could be some form of absorption. Okay, we had a nice zone up here as well. You can start placing your fixed range volume profile tools. You can be looking at that strategy. Again, you can find the strategy inside the Discord, and you can find like a quick easy version inside the YouTube channel. Okay, so it should be around somewhere in the YouTube, but you can see here that we had that nice zone. Once we hit that nice zone, we're seeing buyers stepping in, not getting any follow through, we're closing below. You can start looking at an entry point. Okay, so wherever you feel comfortable with entering around here, that is completely up to you guys. But that's the whole way that I would look at this. Okay, is are buyers stepping in, are buyers being rewarded, are sellers stepping in, are sellers being rewarded? If they're not being rewarded, well, then that's an anomaly, and I kind of want to hop in on that. Okay, so that's pretty much the main way. I get a lot of slack for talking about TradingView and stuff. Listen, guys, TradingView is a really decent platform for order flow traders, right? You can use other platforms. Like my other platform that I use is ATAS, so ATAS. You can find the link in the description. But that is another platform that I use for other analysis. But if you literally go on and look at the discrepancies between TradingView and let's say something like ATAS, there's not that many discrepancies. Okay, and for the overall direction of things, you can get a really good gauge on the market, right? So it personally I'm not losing any more percentages by using TradingView over ATAS or something, right? So a lot of people, you will probably get a lot of slack if you're using TradingView for order flow, so keep that in mind. But in my opinion, it is perfectly decent. I'm able to take high quality trades and find high quality setups and take them accordingly, right? But here's another thing for you guys, right? Is that I'll trade these sort of setups, but I also take into account other things. Okay, so I'm not just trading order flow as in okay, I want to see just absorption and that's it. Okay, over here, it's so clear to me, this absorption play, right? You can just spot this. So if I just zoom in on this chart, you can see CBD is literally moving higher. Okay, so that means there's buyers trying to buy, but price is not moving higher. Okay, so these buyers are not getting rewarded, and they're getting actually absorbed, right? So all these buyers that are getting absorbed right here, you can start looking at plays to take. Okay, so whatever your entry criteria is, you can maybe enter off a point of control of the 5 minute, which is something I personally do. You could look at a key level. You could look at when we break the value area of this sort of area. So if I just go into here, right, you could start looking for shorts around here, to be honest, because you're seeing this absorption happening, right? You're seeing buyers stepping in, not getting rewarded. And then if I just go over to this chart right over here, right, you could be looking at, like, if you could see right here, this point of control got really nicely tapped, and then we started moving away. So you could probably enter the short around here. This is actually a scale in for me. Okay, so what I would do is I would more than likely enter around here. I'm trying to spot something like this, right? Where if we pull this is another area where I'm looking to get in short, right? So I'm looking to get in short, so I'll wait. Oh, okay, we're getting divergences, that's nice, right? And then, so I'd be in maybe 1 or 2 contracts on this. And then the next play, right, I'll be looking at, okay, let me scale in another 1 or 2 contracts, because not only are we getting a really nice absorption play from here, but we're also getting a really nice absorption play from here as well. So you scale in and then get into a really nice position from here. Just from that trade alone, you're probably looking at, you're looking at a lot of dope, 14 points to the downside. So, that's 1,400, let's say 1,500 per contract. That's a lot of money, per contract. That's really a nice setup, right? So that's why you would be looking at these sort of things, but you pair them with other things, guys. Okay, a lot of you guys are coming into here and being like, okay, I spotted absorption, like let's say right here, okay? Like I spotted some absorption right here. Why did it not continue on up, right? Because if I just do this, okay, you're getting this B-shaped profile, right? And you're like, okay, there's a B-shaped profile and there's sellers stepping in. Why? And they're getting absorbed. Why isn't price going up? Well, because you have to look at who's the overall bigger hand here. Okay, like you're looking at this. This is like the main setup. Okay, like we hit a key level around here. We're getting absorption like on the CBD. We're getting other key levels getting respected for the downside, right? And all these other factors are coming in. Well, then why would I realistically want to continue on trading something like that, right? So let me actually show you this as well. Okay, this is how I would use these balances. So this is another way of using this confluence. So you can see here, we had a bunch of seller imbalances coming in. And these sellers, so what this means, right, just a really quick, simple guide for you guys, is that these selling imbalances are 4 times more sellers than buyers. Right, so if I know that there's 4 times more sellers than buyers stepping in right here, I'm also looking to sell around this area. Why would I, and we're seeing absorption, okay? We're seeing literally all these buyers stepping in and they're actually getting absorbed in price. So all these buyers are stepping in, they're not getting rewarded. We're seeing sellers stepping in and getting rewarded. All these sort of things, right? These are all building a nice play in my head. I could do it really fast. Obviously, with a bit of practice, you guys will be able to do it pretty fast as well. But 3 minutes is a long time for each candle. When you put it in the context of that, 3 minutes, it's quite a long time. We're not talking about scalping on the 15th second here, right? We're talking about making a decision within 3 minutes. Seeing this form over time, since the first absorption, that's 24 minutes. The second one is 1 hour, right? So, you could spot a really nice play from here, in a lot of time, and you don't have to rush into things or anything, right? And obviously I use this for scalping as well. I'm not gonna lie. This is my full, just one and done template for scalping, taking, intraday trades, right? Something like that, where it's a really nice play and trading from that. Okay. So that's pretty much, the simplicities of this order flow template. Okay. And like I said before, I'll go over just all the settings. So here's the CBD settings, which is going to be the same as this one up here. Here is the settings for this chart. Okay, here's the settings for this chart. Here's the settings for this bottom chart. Okay, here's all my refined sessions. You can find them inside the Discord or inside the Fosterman's Pro. And so, but you could use any refined, you could use your own sessions, okay? It doesn't really matter. So you could use just normal London, New York, Asia, all that stuff. Here's the daily profiles, okay? So here's the daily profiles with all the settings, right? And then you've also got the key levels, which you can find your own key levels if you want. You can mark these out. I have an automatic indicator. I think it's called Key Level Suite by Leviathan. Okay, so Key Level Suite by Leviathan. You can just turn on whatever levels you want. But down here, I only have previous day high, previous day low, and I also have the daily levels as well. Okay, and the same goes for the weekly. Pretty much the exact same thing, except this is going to be a weekly profile. So PVP, and so that's going to be the setup for that. But if you don't want to set it up all by yourself, you can obviously head over to our web page. Okay, so it's just fostermans.com, and this will bring you here, and then you can find all these indicators and all that cool stuff as well, right? So you can see here Fosterman's Essential. This will include everything within Fosterman's Essential, and then obviously Fosterman's Pro is everything that we offer plus all our templates, everything like at the Course Pro. Okay, so if this is something you want to learn, this is the Course Pro as well. So you can see down here, you can see all the offers and stuff like that. Right, we actually have a really nice discount on at the moment, so 50% off for the year, which is really cool. But yeah, so this is pretty much going to be the main thing to do with these OrderFlow setups. Again, like I said, you're trying to find high quality setups, guys, that go with your daily bias. Okay, so again, my daily bias does not determine every single trade, but it just gives me an idea, right? Bottom charts are going to be my daily bias. These two charts, mainly this chart, is going to be to find potential plays, right? I put my potential plays over here, and then that's it. Like I glance down at these bottom three charts. Okay, I glance down at them and I say, okay, we're at value area highs, we're at value area lows. Oh, we're around this POC. Oh, we just hit a high volume node. This is happening, that's happening, right? But I wouldn't spend like 5-10 minutes on this. I literally spend about 30 seconds looking at these charts like this, okay? I'll just go over really quick. I look at this chart, okay, right? We're around the value area highs. We're actually rejecting, so we're not finding value much higher. We see some high volume moves around here, okay? So we're looking at our potential support coming in, and that's going to be for another 35 points, right? So that's going to be a while away. That's it. That is it, guys, right? And the same goes for this one as well, right? That is how quick I would look at these charts. Because I've already done all my preparation at the start of the day. I've already done all my preparation for the daily bias builder. I've already done all my preparation for finding potential plays. So now I just have to act, okay? Now I just have to act and see, boom, we're getting this really nice absorption play. We're getting this really nice trap traders play. All these imbalances are stepping in. That's showing me absorption as well, right? I'm seeing all these different things coming in. Let me get into this trade. Let me pass this trade. Let me scratch that trade, right? Like these are all the sort of things that I'm looking at. And guys, don't be focusing too much on the, everything else, okay? Like you don't really need to have all this fluff on your chart. Like you see guys, right, that'll have all these settings turned on, right? Where they have like all these highlightings, they'll have a stacked balances, they'll have like 20 indicators on their chart, and they'll have a bunch of just noise. You don't need that, okay? You realistically, you only need these three charts after you've done your daily bias for the day. After you find your potential plays and after you've done your daily bias, you only need these three charts. Your execution chart, which is right here. You're, looking at this chart to see some high volume moves, we're spotting where volume's coming in and so on. And you only need this as well for, mainly I use this for like taking profit and stuff, but I also use it as like a confluence. I'll put it in my statistics journal, but that's pretty much it, right? So that is going to be the main way I use this TradingView OrderFlow template. Obviously, if you want to learn something a little bit more advanced, you can go into our Course Pro on falserooms.com. Link is in the bio. I would appreciate it if you guys subscribe and like and comment on this video because it really helps push us out and teach more people. Okay, so I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.